Masters Championships. We thought we'd stop here in Chanute, Kansas for the Safari Museum. This is the building it's in. It's also the public library for Chanute, Kansas, and evidently Chanute is the birthplace of Octave Chanute. Okay, the museum doesn't open for a half hour, so we're walking around town, named after Octave Chanute.
He wasn't born there, he just was a help to their city during the railroad days.
A letter from Wilbur Wright to Octave Chanute. There's old Octave. Amen. Oh, okay, here's a little kind of a replica they're going to put up in Town Square here. They're getting the old machines ready to lift it up on a pedestal. This is a little square over here. Nice little town. That's the pedestal we're going to put it on. There's the local high school, I guess. The band were out playing earlier this morning.
Navigator.
Okay, I got Gary Norton with me. He's going to be my mechanic for this weekend and call my flights, right, Gary?
You bet.
And we're at the back end of the museum, which doesn't open until 10, so we got a few minutes. And this is the old railroad station. So it's really an old building. Okay, this is the library also, and so it opens at 9:30. We're going to go in here and see what we got, right, Gary?
Yep.
And we'll maybe check out some books before the museum opens. Yeah, there's the library.
The depot actually opened functioning in 1903.
So Chanute lived in Kansas City then, huh?
Lived in Kansas City, a big house there, and also there's an Air Force field named for him in
Oh
Illinois.
yeah,
So
I just came from there a couple years ago, that museum there.
I think he did some work on that as well, and that's why it's named for him. But yeah, and obviously he worked with the Wright brothers, and was the mentor and everything. And a model of his is over at this building back here, which is the Main Street
We were
office.
just over where they're putting the
Wright monument.
The museum's not open yet, but they invited us in. They were expecting us.
Well,
The story of Martin and Osa Johnson is really great. Go to the library and get a book on it.
So that's a correction. Chanute was not born here.
It's got a model of his famous steam engine. The ladies in there, you can go into the office. It's the Main Street organization.
It's the old S-39 over Africa.
Yep.
Conrad Freilich.
Conrad Freilich. You're the director, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great.
Here, yeah.
And you're going to kind of show us around, Conrad?
I'd be happy to do that.
We'd appreciate it very much.
No problem.
And thanks for inviting us aboard.
Hey, glad to have you here.
Let's go.
All right, thank you.
We're going to follow Conrad into the museum. Show us the way, Conrad.
Sure, come on back.
All right. Okay, this is Africa here, right?
Yeah, this is a West African collection, ethnographic or tribal, if you will, materials from various areas of West Africa. The majority of the pieces were collected by an individual, Pascal Imperato. He was one of these youngsters growing up who read the Johnson books and became fascinated with their work.
Oh, that's great. The first safari was to Africa, right?
No, well, if you define a safari as a trip that involves Africa, yes, they're first.
Okay, Conrad's taking us up to the inner sanctum of aviation, right?
You took place in
Oh yes, Craig Herrick. Yeah, there's the S-39 and the S-38, and that's the S-39 was a single engine.
Johnson's original planes, of course, the ones those beautiful Sikorsky planes.
several aviation planes.
Yes.
There's the S-38, National Commercial, number 29 Victor. There's Martin filming from the co-pilot seat.
Exactly correct, but it is a beautiful night, so we don't.
A correction, Chanute was not born in Chanute, Kansas. I want to make that clear. And their first safari was the South Seas, not Africa. Okay, here's what we came to see. Go ahead, Conrad.
All right. This exhibit tells the Johnson story. It's a typical timeline, chronological story. Their lives, travels, adventures through the South Pacific, northern Borneo, and particularly East and Central Africa. This loops around the room. We wanted to create a centerpiece around which their story would be told, so we use these life-size replications or dioramas, illustrating Martin with his camera and Osa by a tent scene. Give visitors an initial sense of what they did.
Gone.
The Johnsons' first couple trips together took them into the South Seas, the Solomons and New Hebrides Islands, today Vanuatu, where they filmed native groups in the islands there. Africa, they filmed the wildlife there, the vast savannas, and their work really popularized camera safaris. Up until that time, it was rich people, colonials, ex-presidents like Teddy Roosevelt that went
I remember
to
that.
East Africa.
Now, what was the name of their book that we can get at the library?
The Johnsons wrote a total of 18 books,
Wow.
100 magazine articles. The most popular is Osa's autobiography, I Married Adventure. It was the best-selling
Yeah.
nonfiction book of 1940.
Wow.
It still is in print, released later this year as a paperback also. And Martin's 1924 book, Camera Trails in Africa, is also out
Boy.
paperback.
So go to the library and just look up Johnson's, and there you got them.
You betcha.
Here's the way they camped, huh?
Yeah, it just gives an idea of their tents and camping equipment. One of their favorite supporters was George Eastman of Kodak fame. He shows up in a couple of these photographs there and there. Of course, they love their Kodak cameras and film and equipment.
And they came back from their safaris when they were all through, and they gave performances around different cities, showed their films. Is that it?
That's correct. They had a pattern that they developed in their later years where they, upon returning from a trip, they developed an initial lecture film, tour around the country with that, and while they're...
Wings Over Africa. Now, that's one of the books, right?
That's the title of their lecture film.
Oh, but
That's the
okay.
lecture film version of Baboona. So Wings Over Africa came out in 1934. That's the one they toured around the country with that year. And then the following year, 1935, the commercial Fox film movie came out, Baboona, great Hollywood title. That's Vern Karstens on the top of the S-38.
Yeah, he taught him to fly, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Right here in the local airport?
That's correct.
That's what I thought.
He went on to become a very well-respected test pilot for Beach in Wichita.
We just stayed overnight across the street from Beach in Wichita last night.
Yeah, right next door.
Oh, these are great pictures.
And the Johnsons took their S-38. It was originally named Spirit of Africa. They renamed it Spirit of Africa and Borneo.
Well, which one did they name after Osa? Osa's
Ark. That's the S-38.
Okay, that's Osa Ark. That was a twin, yeah.
Correct.
Wow, what an adventure.
In 1930s,
They were in the funny papers, but it wasn't funny. It was,
well, it was about their lives. Yeah, they were a comic
Yeah.
style, but yeah, it talked about their different trips. And he was years ago, and the family has been sending us his original correspondence with the Martins and original drawings of his that was used for this. It's just
here's Chanute Airport, named after Martin Johnson.
just a couple miles or so away. 40s, but he was still well remembered and respected. And
Liberty ship,
I think
named
there's
after Martin.
something close to 3,000 Liberty ships built, and they're naming them after all.
You can read about this in Skyways magazine.
Okay, that's for Vern Karstens, right?
Yes.
He was our chief pilot, and he taught him to fly.
Yes, he did.
Conrad, can you tell us what really happened to Osa and Martin at their last, when they left Salt Lake City?
Right, it was a regular flight from Salt Lake City to Burbank, California. The pilot strayed off course in bad weather, hit the side of a hill, and Martin died the following day as a result of injuries received in that commercial airplane accident. He was a diabetic and then in part contributed to his death because of the remote area where they crashed.
And Osa survived?
Osa survived. She was in a wheelchair for a while. There was some concern of whether or not she would be able to walk after that, but she did at least physically fully recover and continue doing their lecture circuit.
Now, was it Osa or was it Martin was from Chanute? This
Osa
area?
was born and grew up here in
That's-
Chanute. Martin
that's
was
a-
actually born in Rockford, Illinois,
Oh,
but when
okay.
he was just a few months old, his family moved
I
to
see.
Kansas. Yeah,
Okay.
so he's considered a Kansas kid, kind of like Eisenhower is. He wasn't technically born
Well,
here.
thanks for all the information, and we sure appreciate being here with you.
Oh, it's been
And,
a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and we'll send you a copy of this tape.
Fantastic.
Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to say goodbye to the Safari Museum in Chanute, Kansas, and head out for Gardner, Kansas for the U.S. Scale Masters Championships, 2004. And we'll see you guys next time. Get on the road again, going places that I've never been. I can't wait to get on the road again. Here we come, California. Well, here we are, Mavis Henson Field, beautiful downtown Woodland, California. Bob Racer and I and Jerry Nelson came out for an early morning flight. It's about 7:15, and we're going to get a couple test flights on our strutters, 1.5 strutters. As you can see, it's another beautiful day here at Woodland-Davis Aero Modelers Field. Here from beautiful Paradise, California, with his tent.
Larry
Racer
Shepard.
is first up on Saturday morning for a test flight in the grass.
Bob Racer, first up.
He's in the air.
Stop with 1.5 stutter.
Trimmed out, and he's going to do an overshoot. Yes, sir. It's beautiful out here. There's no wind hardly. Bob Racer's got his air brakes on.
That's on.
You got control of it. Keep the nose down.
Yeah, nice control.
Good, good, good.
The air brakes are worthless.
Throttle back, all the way back. Now put it straight down for a landing.
Hang on a second.
Are they on?
No, it's off right now.
Oh, they're off now.
Yeah, there they are.
Okay, the air brakes are on.
Boy, it comes down like a rock.
They're off again?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use that much.
Kind of ruins the flow over the empennage.
Let's give it a real lane.
Coming in for a landing this time, he says. A little bit downwind. It looks like whatever wind we have is very slight. Oh, look at that. Okay.